It would go marginally better if you did click the record button, yeah. That's already a minute down, lost to the ether.
Well, we're going to lose another minute or two.
Why?
Well, we've got the socials out, Toby.
Okay.
We're on social media.
Why? In the first minute, I have to go and follow the Twitter, is what you're saying.
Have you not read the first post or the second post? Second post is
I
important.
haven't seen it at all, no, sorry.
Ah.
I'm really bad at this. I'll go check it now. I'll go check it now.
Because that's my question to you.
It's your question to me.
Yeah. I want to know.
Can I use
Twitter.com? You've had another week of testing.
Well, that's a very gracious way of putting it. I've had another week of trying to play Tough Nut and realising I should probably be practicing a different deck. Oh, that's a nice picture, John.
It is a nice picture. I like the art. Our mysterious local artist has done us proud.
I think we can just say it's Nick. I don't think we need to.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I asked and they went, no need. And I went, does that mean no? We shouldn't?
Well,
or
I've said it now, so.
Yeah, exactly. Fine. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful art.
Mr. Potion.
What did I say?
And John Energy.
I got that the wrong way around, didn't I?
You're John Potion.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm Mr. Energy. Although, I have been thinking, I think I prefer Doctor.
I can't do that for
Doctor
legal
Energy.
reasons.
Why?
You actually have to be a doctor.
I am.
Of?
Well, you had your ask, didn't you? So
Yeah.
Evidently it was quite convincing. You were convinced.
Not really.
I could be a doctor of history. I mean, if Nick can do it, I could definitely do it.
Don't know.
Oh, I see. I'm here. I found it. I found the question.
Good.
Is it finally Rhiner's time to shine in Super Slam?
Welcome to Energy Potion, a flesh and blood podcast where we chat about trying, failing, and sometimes succeeding to play flesh and blood as competitively as we can. This episode was recorded in front of a live audience at an exclusive secret location. Before you smash the like, follow, or subscribe buttons, just take a moment. Do you really want your friends and connections to hear the latest hot takes and root techs before you get to play them yourself?
How many different builds does Toby have at the moment? 5. No. Just
okay, fine.
Just to circle back to the first one.
Let's talk about some other heroes then.
But 5 though. 5 decks.
Builds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and they're all good.
Yeah, but
like I think Rhino is very much a 50% win rate deck. Can push above 50% win rate. The issue is KO Armed and Dangerous exists.
And is KO best deck in format?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think KO is gonna wail over the format until he lulls.
I mean, I don't think hasn't got weaknesses. I think he's quite attackable. I think there's a lot of decks that can put it to him.
Like who?
I think Earth for the most part. I think Verdant's Florian are good starts.
Yeah.
I think there's a world where maybe, well, Marlin absolutely eviscerates him.
Yeah.
And if that's a good enough reason to play Marlin at all. And this isn't even me just, bigging it up so that Finley, is happy that I'm talking about Marlin. We've run that game a few times now. It is rough. Okay. It's really, really tough.
Okay.
And Marlin doesn't even need a new expansion slot card. That matchup was still bad. The card helps, obviously, and it helps shore up some other matchups she has. But no. Then a deck like Vincent, for example, would also be pretty rough for KO to break through because you're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at her and she's going to take it.
You know
and
who I think beats KO?
Who, John?
Tough Nut.
Sometimes.
Tough Nut, played a game in 2, is quite scary.
Yeah.
Blocks really quite well.
Yep.
Especially if you're sending big attacks.
Yep.
KO likes sending big attacks.
So the way KO's attack pattern and numbers, I've said before, is how Earth wants to block. It's kind of how Tough Nut wants to block too, right?
Yeah.
Like the first attack that's coming in on KO's turn is usually one of the bigger ones because he makes his own might tokens and stuff. And the first block you make is obviously your big one too. So
yes.
it lines up nicely with that. As opposed to a deck like Sinja or Katsu where the first attack might be a breakpoint, might not, and there's going to be 3 more afterwards. The issue with Tough Nut is that if you can't cycle the swing of the weapon every single turn, and the weapon kind of has to be rock, it gets pretty tough. And he's pretty consistent with doing it. I think the build I'm on, that I've been working on, which is playing like 15 blues and 3 reds, and the rest are yellows, as you can probably piece together. And most of them are 6s, is pretty consistent, blocks pretty well. You can quite easily, on average, make 3 toughness. So all of the cards that say if they're blocking for 6 or more get an added effect helps too. So you've got a bit of disruption in there as well, with like disarm and disperse.
Because you can activate Tough Nut with a card in hand.
Yeah.
And the card in hand's yellow, because you've got a lot of yellows in deck.
I have a
so
few.
You activate Tough Nut with the card in hand.
Yep.
Reveal a yellow in the discard.
Yep.
It's a yellow 6.
In the pitch.
In the pitch. In the pitch, it's a yellow 6.
I agree.
So now you've got 2 pitch and a card in hand.
I do.
Then you can... Okay, no, you can't. You can't activate Gauntlet.
You can.
And then swing rocks. You've got card in hand. No, yeah, okay.
What you can do is you can pitch a yellow and then pitch a blue to something like Buck Wild, leaving you 2 floating. The Buck Wild will have go again. And then you can Gauntlet, activate Tough Nut, swing rock.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good little use. Because again, the hands where you're attacking Tough Nut and he gets to block with most of his hands are the ones where Tough Nut is doing what he wants to do. Tough Nut loves blocking.
Yes.
It's the hands when you give him a full mighty grip of 3 cards and he can't convert it is the issue. Like say for example, like he's sitting on 7 toughness and you just, Arsenal pass or play out an aura Arsenal pass, and Tough Nut's looking at a hand of 3 cards that do something on block. He's like, oh man, my toughness token.
Yep.
But if you've got that Buck Wild, you've got that Jaws of Victory, you can convert the hands quite nicely. And even on the hands that he can't convert relatively well, if he blocks with all 3 cards and has Tunic up, or blocks with all 3 cards and has a Vigor from a Vigorous Smash Up or from something else, you're like 9 in 10 guaranteed to hit a yellow off the top. And if you do, you swing rock. If you hit a blue, you swing rock.
Yeah.
If you hit a blue 6, you activate Gauntlets and swing rock.
Yeah.
You swing for 8. So the numbers are really, really good.
And you blocked a ridiculous amount.
Well, you've already blocked, because again, on average, you're playing a few 2 blocks because they're just worth it because they're pretty good. Like Song of Sinew.
And with a toughness token, they block 3 or 4.
Grit. I mean, yeah, but they're the good ones. They're so good that actually you don't want to block with them.
Right.
Like Song of Sinew, for example, is an insane tough nut card because you get to keep a 1-card hand of Song of Sinew, play it, look at the top 4. You might get some buffs. You might hit some 6s. You probably do. You hit like 2, maybe 3. If you're lucky, you hit all 4. And then you get to find that yellow, guarantee that it's on top, so that you can, if you've got the Tunic up or the Vigor up, or you just find the blue and go, cool, I want the blue, and you look what your next hand is too, so you can prepare ahead. So he's really, really good. The issue is that he is a fantastic numbers deck. His numbers are really, really good. KO Armed and Dangerous numbers are really, really good. They are silly good. I've tested a little bit with the build that Yuki put out, and obviously I've been testing with my own, what I would call more of a brute player's build. Still using Savage Feast, still using Sea Legs. And Yuki's list puts out pretty good consistent numbers using Buck Wild, stuff like that. My list puts out, I'd say, pretty much the same consistent numbers, but has the potential for those bigger spike turns, because again, Tough Nut's not presenting anything too crazy on most turns. You can find the space to set up. And playing around Flesh Bag and such means that you can get a turn where you have Savage Feast and Arsenal, a Golden Tipple, still on my mind, John. I miss it. A Golden Rum on board, and a hand that you can convert, and then you can push over Tough Nut's defensive numbers relatively consistently, 3 to 4 times a game.
Yeah. And that's enough.
And that is enough.
With the other damage that's being leaked and things.
Yeah, I mean, you can get disrupted. So if you do get hit by the disarms, by the dispersers on the important turns, and you lose, like on a Blood Rush turn, for example, you lose a Swing of the Claw, or hell, you lose the finisher. That disperser's blocked considerably more than the 3 that it would have blocked, or the 6 it blocks with the toughness tokens. So there's a way to play around it. But the other key kicker, and it's one of the reasons that my Rhinar builds all suck as well, is that all these cool new cards, they clash on them, John. All these fantastic new cards, like Vigorous Smash Ups, they clash on. And you can be a brute playing exclusively 6s and 7s. You will lose to KO Armed and Dangerous when it comes to a clash. He will outclash you with 1 arm. and he'll make it look easy.
Right.
He'll rip a blue and he'll tie with your strongest yellow. He'll rip a red and you'll rip the same red and you'll lose.
Right.
And so much of Tough Nut's defensive profile is built on throwing out these clash cards,
And
blocking well with them,
Yep.
and winning to set up the next turn. Like, even if you're just setting up a toughness, that means that your card that you're clashing with, even if it doesn't have a toughness active on it, is generating 4 value, right? 3 on
Yep.
the block and the toughness, and also you're checking the top card of the deck for your toughness. The vigorous one is obviously even better because it means that you get to essentially block out entirely, hit a yellow, and swing rocks.
Yes.
Like, it cycles like that. KO will take them and he will eat them and he will
Right.
use them. He won't use toughness better than you, but he will use that vigor better than you. So it's brutal, obviously.
Yep.
And very enjoyable. And I think there's probably a lot to it. And obviously, the Armed and Dangerous decks aren't polished yet, but there's more of an idea of where they're supposed to be. I don't think the Tough Nut decks are sold at all.
No.
I think my build is probably the best build
Obviously.
currently.
Yep.
Because Tough Nut
You've
is...
named it best deck and format already, so we
Well,
know.
I named the KO one best deck in format. I named the Tough Nut one Rock.
Seems like a solid name.
Yeah, I'm usually more imaginative than that, but I just think it conveyed everything it needed to.
Yeah. With Tough Nut, it pretty much does, doesn't it?
I think monosyllabic words is probably where we stay for Tough Nut.
I don't know. I can't wait for him to release the lore, and he's some sort of scholar.
I mean, he is a scholar.
Yeah.
I told you, I've said it before. He's a wise man's deck. Because you are playing like 2 to 3 turns ahead, and also a full pitch stack ahead, really.
Yeah.
But I think there's a space for him. Obviously, in most of the testing right now, most people are wanting to play the new stuff. They want to test new stuff. A lot of people aren't, myself excluded, testing Gravy.
No. Yeah.
I do think the Gravy matchup might be quite tough for young Tough Nut.
Yeah.
As would be Florian and Verdance. And unfortunately, if those 3 are some of the best decks in the format, it doesn't matter how good Tough Nut's KO matchup is. It isn't worth bringing him to the big boy tables. Unless it can be solved. And I don't think it can't be solved. He might not have all the tools he needs necessarily right now. But then I think also as soon as Mandible Claw glows, I think Brutes might get access to a few more
toys.
hour cards.
Yeah.
That'd be
Now
nice.
you've lost Mandible Claws and Berserk.
Well, yes. Maybe Berserk comes back.
Promise of design space.
Yeah, maybe we can get Berserk back if we lose Mandible Claw. You shouldn't do that.
No.
Rhinar with Berserk in CC with these new cards would actually be like quite disgusting.
Well, they need to a little a welcome to Wraith Hero somehow.
Well, they do. I also really want Return to Wraith at some point, John. And if all 4 heroes are still legal, it'd be even better.
Unless they print new ones.
They could do. I mean, I've theorized many new versions.
New
of,
Rhinar.
Yeah, where's Rhinar star of the show? Huh? I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I told you.
With elemental powers, no.
No, it'd be good. It'd be good. Well, give him ice. Rhinar star of the snow.
What else has been going on? Yeah, more testing. What are you expecting to see at a ProQuest? What are you planning for?
I think from the old guard, I expect to see Gravy. I expect to see Armed and Dangerous. I expect to see Verdance. I expect to see people still playing Florian, Syndra. I expect to see an uptick in Marlin. I don't think she's actually a joke. I think, like I said before, I think she has got legs. I think she's got a good matchup into the Earth Heroes, and I think she has a great matchup into KO, and that's reason enough to bring her. Of the new guard, I think Pleiades and Lyrith will see play.
Yep.
I think Tough Nut. I think people will play Tough Nut. I think Tough Nut could even pick up a couple of ProQuest wins.
I think the problem with Tough Nut, certainly for the first ProQuest, is getting the cards together. And
oh yeah,
and that people will do it for KO because KO is so strong.
And you only need like 9.
Yeah, I think people will be more hesitant to throw together Tough Nut.
Yes, I mean Tough Nut's going to be a fantastic armory deck.
Partly because of the cards that KO wants, pushing the price up as well. Like,
yes, getting those gauntlets of Tyrannical Rex are going to be tough. Getting those... I don't know, John.
Fine.
SOS. I've been calling them SOS. Then the red attack for 8 that is essentially Swing Big 2.
Right.
I don't think Tough Nut should play that, but Rhinar does and Levia does.
Yeah.
So getting caught in the wave by that too.
Brute. Sunrise.
I also do think we'll see Rhinar and Levia crop up.
Okay.
Because it's the last hurrah
for claws.
For claws.
Yeah. Fine.
Like the builds of Levia and Rhinar right now, the builds that we've been used to for the longest time, will cease to exist when KO goes and takes his claw with him.
Yep.
Now, I do think you can still build some pretty gnarly lists with Romping Club and Ravenous Meat Axe and even Hexacore to a point.
And whatever comes after.
But it will be what comes after. Like the Rhinar deck coming out, the Armory deck, will be, I assume, Romping Club. I doubt they'll give him a new weapon. And that will play into that side a lot more. Levia is do something.
giving Rhinar a new weapon before Betsy gets the first weapon is going to be...
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Betsy was her own weapon with all these instant speed auras. Maybe she would have been too strong, John. Maybe that's what they're scared of.
Or just some heroes were never meant to shine, isn't that what Jimmy said?
Yeah, but what does Jimmy know?
Well, that's true, actually.
If that was true, they'd stop printing expansion slot cards for Olympia and for Teklo.
I'm not sure.
And just give them to other heroes.
I'm not sure the reason they print those is to give them time to shine.
But that's what the expansion slot is for.
Well, it's for allowing heroes to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're still expected to shine. Like, look at Max.
I mean, Max is closer to shining than he was.
Yes.
I think there will be a metagame in the future where Max is a deck.
Maybe.
I think Earth has unfortunately put a bit of a dampener on him. But I think you can also set up into Earth to a degree.
I think you can set up into Earth. I think actually... well, okay, fine, let's talk about Max now. But I think Max will have his day when he's good. Was he good enough?
I firmly believe that like all heroes can hope to have their day. I think they should all...
Olympia's got all the gold armor now, so...
Yeah, again, Olympia needs a weapon in the same way Betsy does.
Yeah.
Like, they both need a weapon that lets you wager on attack. Because this is the thing, this is my theory, is that if they have a weapon in mind for Betsy, and it is her Caber, and it does wager on attack, it means that with all these auras that buff anything, she can, in theory, set up a pretty nasty, like, loop, where she, like, buffs the Caber, swings the Caber with overpower, because, of her ability, and just keep looping, like, good wages and stuff, and make things quite... I mean, that's fine, that's no worse than a lot of other decks. But it could be maybe a bit too consistent and a bit too samey, and maybe that's why they're erring against it. Similar to something like Olympia, where if you had a Decimator Axe equivalent as a sword or something like that. But no, I think we'll see, an uptick in the other brutes. We'll also just see an uptick in a lot of stuff, because week 1 is always just all hell breaks loose. Like, people will be playing these new cards in Bravo, and they'll be playing Victor, and they'll be playing... probably still Jarl. They'll still try Jarl, because they'll get access to some of the new cards, but not all the ones they want to play Pleiades or Lyath. And so you might as well, if they want to play them, they'll play them. We'll see. I think we'll see a little bit of Fi tick up. We'll see a lot of Fang.
Yes.
I think that this this life gain denial card in Fi is actually a real pain when it lands at the right time into the right deck.
Well, because he just keeps it alive. He can keep it alive.
It is very easy, because he's not using the reds that are in his bin. So if it resolves, again, you want to set it pretty much firmly in the mid game before you're pushing into the late game. When you get to say 2 verdants, cool, you're on 9, I don't care, you're not getting any life.
Yeah.
Also into like a deck like Lyath, that in theory probably doesn't want to see Fi too much anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're constant pressure and such. But obviously, so much of Lyath's like defensive profile is built around getting around his thing.
His thing, which is life gain.
So he plays 3 Fiddler's Greens and he plays 3 Sigils.
Yeah.
And you go, cool. So that card that breaks the mass of the deck and is actually worth, a free 3 in your deck of 2s, is actually worth nothing now, or it's worth 1 on blocks. Enjoy that, because again, all you have to do is literally take 1 turn off to play it, or 1 card out of 1 turn off to play it, and just continue on like that. But you do have to see it, and in theory, if you want to see it, you have to play 2. And if you're playing 2, then there'll be a point where you see 2 of them, and you're like, oh, I kind of want to see the second one.
Yeah.
Same as like defense reacts and stuff like that in 5. They're a necessary evil. And again, if I can use it, Syndra can use it. But then I think Syndra's...
It's more expensive than Syndra. Fi's got more resource.
Yeah, and also Syndra is very much more wed to the...
Kill you before you get life.
Yeah, to make it not matter.
Kill you before you, yeah.
But no, I think that plenty of decks have a stake. The plenty of decks have skin in the game and have potential to pick up a few points here or there.
Yeah,
genuinely, I do think if ever there was a season for me to finally grab some LL points on Rhinar, it probably would be this one. I think you can build a version of Rhinar that isn't favoured but can go toe to toe with KO in the right paradigms, and can go fast enough into Earth as well.
Fast enough into Earth, toe to toe into KO. Fast aggro.
Well, and into aggro, you just have to lean on the fridge, and some of the defensive tools that you bring in for KO, you bring in. Like,
but
I've
tested... got disruption and intimidate.
I mean, the disruption helps, obviously, as you've played the matchup before. As an aggro deck, the intimidate is usually less relevant. If you line up the splatter skulls, it's pretty good. But no, even just having access to...
relevant late game.
Well, you got to get to the late game.
Yeah. Right.
If you can present lethal as Rhinar, you're looking in a pretty good spot. But no, even just like putting in some of these new, like these vigorous smash ups, like I'm saying, the new Clash Vigor cards. Obviously, Rhinar plays typically more misses than KO does, but you just lean more into the sixes and you go, cool, well, against aggro, I'm going to give you my 1 or 2 cards a turn, use them to generate a resource or something else, and then use that to sort of make my 2-card hands a lot stronger. I did try and build an aggro version with like Wild Rise, Pulpings, Bare Fangs, the new Stampede, and it isn't bad. I do think it's actually pretty strong, but again, every time you pair it to KO, you go, I'm just doing what you're doing, but worse, and it feels pretty rough. But not unwinnable. Like, they're all pretty close. Like, if the Reckless Swing lines up at the right time, you can steal it. And if you time your scouting, you can steal it as well. So it's going to be a Wild West, John, as week 1 of ProQuest after a new set usually is. Yeah. Like, there is no defined best deck.
No. We've got one event next week where we might learn something, but who knows? And will that...
Shizuoka?
I think Shizuoka's even the week after that. I think there's... I can't remember what... Hamburg? No, Hamburg's the week after that. Paris.
Is it Team Classic Constructed
CC in Paris.
So we're going to see a lot of decks.
So we'll see a lot of decks, but because it's team, that won't be indicative of the wider meta. It'll be slightly different.
No, but we'll see a lot of decks, and we'll see individual matchups. And
will people at a local PQ be able to pivot fast enough onto those decks, especially if the new heroes are strong?
Like with some of the spending money that our locals have, quite possibly.
Yeah, true.
Quite possibly.
They're supposed to be using that for camera equipment.
Well, I can tell you, as of today, they have spent on a lot of camera equipment.
Good. I can't wait for the unboxing video.
It's coming soon.
Yep. Good. I keep saying it.
It's coming soon. And yeah, it's exciting to actually see some of it used too.
Any insights from the pre-release? Particular heroes playing certain ways?
I was incredibly impressed with RKO.
Really?
As a hero. He plays how I've played Brute for many years, like really grindy, really defensive, really numbers based. Doesn't really have much of a spike, but is happy to grind you to dust because he knows that his second and third cycle is better than yours because his blues just translate to 6. Yeah. So you end up, I played, so in the draft, I drafted RKO and drafted an awful deck. But it was just a bunch of 3 blocks, a bunch of good numbers, and I had like one. It wasn't bully tactics. It was the super rare that if you've got more life, it boos you, and if you've been booed, it's base power doubles, which obviously is fantastic for KO because it's a 4 power attack that you make a 6 and it becomes a 12.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I lost to Lucian, who drafted a single Lyeth in the pod. And that was pretty scary because when Lyeth chains together like auras, there's not much you can do.
Yep.
And then fatigued 2 tough nuts.
Okay.
So that you can fatigue the fatigue deck as RKO. And obviously, immediately playing it, I was like, I want to build this in CC.
Yeah. Of course.
Because it looks pretty fun and looks like you can do some pretty silly stuff when you line up and set up like triple intimidate.
I mean, that would be the outside pick for the first peak of the season to rock
Of the four, I would say RKO is
the least solved. But that also makes him the most dangerous in some ways. Is the least solved.
I do think there is a build out there that is quite strong. I've seen whispers. I've seen hums and hers of a potential strong list that can do some pretty good stuff into decks that want to block, and you can punish them for blocking, and obviously decks that don't want to block you can punish with disruption. But in terms of like the sealed format itself, it does feel like every deck is open to you in 8 packs, which is really, really nice. It's not like previous formats we've had where sometimes there's like a set hero that you play in sealed for the most part. I would say that in this, it probably would be KO, because worst case scenario, if you have good brute cards and decent revolt cards, you just smush them together, play a good deck.
Yep.
But you can force any hero you want if you want to just play them and get a pretty decent deck out of them. I think the draft format probably is quite interesting and quite in depth, and it's actually quite sad that we're not going to see it overly explored, because there's no reason to. It does make me wonder if maybe in their internal testing it wasn't or it was maybe a bit too easily solved, and that's part of the reason that it didn't end up in Worlds. I don't necessarily think that is the case. I think they're just more intent on pushing Living Legend as this like legacy format.
Yeah. And Silver Age now.
Well, and that's the other thing. They're going to essentially do what Magic ended up having to do, and one of the few good things that Magic does do is obviously its diversity of formats, is by saying, look, we have multiple formats, we have multiple cards and multiple heroes in Fab's case. We want you to enjoy all of them in their own special and secret ways. Because there are things that you can do in LL that you can't do in any other format.
Yep.
There are things that now in CC you can do that in theory you can't do in any other format, and Sage will be this third part of the triangle, hopefully rounding out what is a competitive format triangle, where there are heroes and there are archetypes that will shine in that format that maybe have fallen to the wayside in other ones. Like actual pure numbers gameplay is obviously what Sage is all about. But you've also still got stuff like Dramai in there, and you've still got Gravy. You've got all kinds of decks you can do.
You've got the elemental ice in all its different formats.
Oh, the fact that you've got ice in that, because obviously in LL, ice is a little bit pushed to the wayside outside of like Starvo and the occasional Icelander. But in Sage, ice is a threat. Ice is a tough one, because you don't have these power cards, these spike cards to really break through.
Yeah.
So you are playing pure numbers, and if Oldham's just saying, okay, well, every turn put that card back on top of your deck for me, you're like, oh, but I was going to use that to attack you. And,
nope.
Not this turn, you're not. So it can get pretty interesting, and obviously there's so much space for deck design and experimentation. I've built God knows how many PB decks, hoping that they will announce something a bit more long-standing, and lo and behold, they have. I'm very excited to put together decks for the new heroes.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to, especially after having played them in Sealed and Draft and seen what cards they have available to them in the rares and commons. I get to go, cool, well, this deck would be really good if I had playsets of these, and then I get to go to my little Sage table and put them together, and lo and behold, I have playsets of them. And RKO is still kind of mid, but
I should update. I've got some of the old Blitz decks, and I should update them to Sage.
Yeah, they're fun, and obviously they're cheap. Well, as cheap as you want them to be.
Yeah,
I will be blinging out my Rhinar deck, given the chance. So yeah, I think it's a real slam dunk. Again, the only issue I have is that they're making me wait a whole month
to find out what the rules are,
to find out what's going on, and also that they haven't immediately just made a calling in Canterbury for Silver Age.
Well, I am annoyed about the rules thing. I'm annoyed about the rules thing. I think announcing it without the rules feels like a misstep. Well, maybe we'll look back on it and go, this is why they did it, and it was sensible. Well, I think
the general thing is that it's because the rules haven't changed much. I think is probably the reason. If the rules had a big change, they would have said, we'll give you the full details soon, but like big changes coming. To prepare people. Because obviously, like, people can now buy tickets for this format that technically doesn't have rules, right?
Yeah.
But people know that it's
basically Project Blue.
It's Project Blue 2.
Yeah, fine. Sounds good.
I mean, I'm excited.
Me too. I gotta go. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Energy Potion, a Flesh and Blood podcast. If you liked it, please consider subscribing for more. If you disagree with any of these opinions, please let us know in the comments and we'll either defend them robustly or completely cave and agree with you. This podcast was made possible with help from the team at Le Bon 22 Productions and a special donation from the Cracked Bauble Appreciation Society and their sponsors.